May I have a motion to approve a new position to the 2016-17 staffing plan and a new job classification description, Director of Family, School, and Community Engagement? May I have a motion and a second? Moved by Ms. Stacy, second by Ms. Boynton. Dr. Mayer.
Thank you. Dr. Ham would like to present the board with some rationale and data to support this position.
Chairperson King, board members, my name is Robert Ham. I live at 2480 Southeast 38th Street in Ocala. It's my pleasure to bring to you this evening a revised job description for a director of engagement of our families, community, and schools. I owe a particular debt of gratitude to Ms. Boynton, who as chair of the board directed a study and a committee, appointed a committee to look into ways that we might better reach our communities in certain targeted stakeholder groups to improve communication between the schools and parents who perhaps weren't as available to the technology to be able to interface with the schools, and perhaps were single parents and had other limitations on how they were able to leverage their positions to engage the schools. Mrs. Stacy was a member of that committee, and we appreciate your work as well. 2 weeks ago, we offered a job description, and there were some questions about that prior to the board meeting, and I spoke with board members who came to me with questions, and Mr. James particularly had some concerns about possible redundancies in the job description as it might relate to our public affairs officer. We have revised the job description to make more clear the line of demarcation between those functions of communication for the superintendent and expressing the vision and the mission and the core values of the district, and those of this position, which will engage targeted stakeholder groups in an effort to correct some of those deficiencies that we presented to you not just 2 weeks ago in terms of shortcomings within the district educational results, but also at this most recent board work session we had on Tuesday, where we highlighted some issues with English language learners as well as special needs students. We feel that this position is appropriate to help us do a better job of reaching those stakeholder groups. I know as a board you have two overwhelming concerns, in that you are the authority to approve our budget and also the staffing plan. And our obligation to you is that we will execute the 16-17 budget with fidelity. We won't go over that budget. And additionally, we will deliver to you next month a proposed staffing plan for 17-18 that will be both more lean and more efficient and more effective than the one that we have now. As we move toward doing that, there are going to be some changes that we need to do now. I know Dr. Grantham highlighted this during his discussions with you, that we're now looking at about 40 days before FSA testing, and in the case of student writing, about 26, 27 instructional days before that portion of the ELA is actually given to our students. Whatever we can do now to leverage current resources through reallocation and realignment, we're going to do to give us a better result and start that move toward improvement. This position is going to be an important part of that new staffing plan as well, and when taken in toto, it's going to show a realignment of our priorities and be completely in line with Dr. Mayer's plan to put more resources where we need them, which is to help students. Currently, we have 19 220-day homeschool liaison positions. We have 4 260-day positions. We have 1 vacant position. And We also have our HIPPY program, which is our outreach for home instruction for parents of preschool youngsters. We know that early childhood learning is a critical need in order to bring them into pre-K and kindergarten ready to learn, and we get much better results by the 3rd and 4th grade when we do those sorts of things. That would also be a part of this. I will tell you that in terms of funding, we have applied for a DOE grant, and we've had some very good guidance from DOE on preparation of that grant. And the creation of this position is one of the specific requirements of that grant, to have someone to manage the parent, family, community engagement piece. So we're delighted that it should not create an additional funding burden on the district, and we have every expectation that we'll receive that grant. And we will expect to know in early March and move forward then to list the position and fill it. Subject to your questions. How may I be of assistance?
Mr. James?
I don't have any questions, but I just want to make some statements in reference to this. Would y'all pass those down? I really don't have anything to say to Dr. Ham. And Dr. Ham, I really appreciate you and your candor with me when I met with you in your office. But Board, I will ask, pass that down to Dr. Meir. One of the things I'm going to say to you more than anything else, Board, I would really consider this, if we were to table this issue until we have a board retreat. And let me explain to you why I'm saying we need to really have a board retreat. I just handed out a copy of Hillsborough County's family and engagement person there. And it's really specific, and it really tells us exactly what they're doing in Hillsborough County. One of the things I am saying to you, this is not an emergency. We are not really clear on the role of our school board and our superintendent in what we're doing. And let me explain why. We had an emergency session just recently where we brought in some additional principals back. We just had a session where we had a hearing, an employee hearing, along with the superintendents. We had an opportunity to meet the superintendent's attorney. I never met the attorney until I walked in the door. I had never seen her until I walked in the door. And some of you may have. I haven't. I didn't. Okay, now when I look at this, look at us adding a director of community and family relations, we need it. I don't have a problem with needing it. But I do feel that we need to discuss the direction we're going. One of the things that was interesting about it was it said it will expand something about the superintendent's vision. It should be the school board vision combined. You all may have had an opportunity to sit and talk with the superintendent individually, but have we had an opportunity to sit and talk with the superintendent as a collective board? Guys, we need a retreat, because I'm simply telling you, we're getting things stacked up on us, and we don't know the big picture. Will this thing, and I'm gonna ask Dr. Grantham, Dr. Grantham, do you need this tomorrow? Or can we get a retreat and we sit down and see how this thing will affect the employees that we have in our district, good or bad? Do you have to have this tomorrow? Address it. If you gotta have it tomorrow, I wanna know. Is this?
Before you do that, Mr. James, first, let me say this to Nancy Stacy. In 2014, I was chairman here. I came and I asked Mr. States for Nancy, and I asked them I wanted her to chair a group of women, men from the whole county, I was worried, we needed to work about the family. That was something that, it took over in a year. I looked around at the Mr. Lake, who came, we came to the first time that excuse me, when Nancy came in, and she brought those women, the women and men that came in that wanted to know, to work for the families. And I think when you're with the children, that's one of the things that the children needed to know, that the family. And I think if we did it in 2014, and when they came to the board, they had a meeting around and talked to all of us. It was on, if you could excuse me again, they did a report on it, and I was very, had the concerns that they had for 2014. We're now in 2017, and it's something, when should be talking about the family.
Well, let me finish.
And I understand you're talking, and we put when they came, it was very, that they came together, and then we knew 3 years that we would come together and put down a job. They put the information on the job then, so I think I understand what some of the things what you're talking about with the plan, our pelagic, comp plan, but I think it's, at least we need to have this, Mr. James. I know.
I'm gonna come back to you in just a minute. Ms. McCall, you had something?
Yeah, I have some concerns. First of all, I don't believe this position should be at the salary level that it's being, that it's at. To me, it's more of a program manager. Secondly, I have a problem with pursue funding opportunities through grants and community partnerships. I don't want any confusion with our Public Education Foundation, and they pursue funding through community partnerships, and they do that very, very well. So that would need to be removed for me, because our foundation, that's their role, is to pursue funding through community partnerships. I also really believe that if the leadership at the schools are the right leadership at the schools, and I think we're beginning to align that, the parents need a relationship with the school, not with a district person. The relationship with those families should be with that school and not with a district person. I can't support it like it is. I certainly can't support it with the pursue funding opportunities through grants and community partnerships. I cannot support it at the salary level that it's at, and I think we need to wait until it comes back at a better salary and in the new staffing plan.
Ms. Stacy?
Well, Ms. McCall, you mentioned the foundation. I've gone through the Public Policy Institute that was kind of a collaboration of the foundation. Mrs. Zanetti and actually Dr. Mayer and different ones were involved in putting the Public Policy Institute recommendations. It's from 2012-13. We're now 4 years later, to study A Promise to the Future. This has been on the shelf somewhere, on a dusty shelf. This is what kind of brought, I think, Mrs. Boynton to the point where, we talked about this and to say, let's move on this, because this has now been sitting on the shelf for 4 years. If we're not going to use the recommendations of the foundation employee and do the things that this recommends, then I don't really know why we even need the foundation if we're just, if it's just business partnerships. I'm going to read a little bit about it. It says in here, the one of the first recommendations, it talks about social environment. Parent volunteering, empowering individuals to be their own advocate, and becoming change agents for communities. The end results may lead to improvements in personal and community health as well as academic success of children. It goes on to talking about key findings that this public policy plan found, and these were business people that were brought in here from the community, inconvenienced with their time. They were willing to give us their time, and I have a whole list of people that were involved in this, coming to meetings, just like I had meetings on the parent involvement piece, week after week after week, to major inconvenience to the people that I pulled in here. I had I had district employees, and they would come at night to these meetings, and we put this together. We came up with a plan. We introduced this plan a year ago, and after working hard, and the school board unanimously supported, let's moving forward with this. The newspaper, editorial after editorial and story after story about the positive effects of what we were coming up with this group that Mrs. Boynton had charged me to put together. And we based a lot of it on this old 4-year study that talks about this study. This was to improve academic stuff. Everything in it's about parents. Poverty, uneducated, 20% in Marion County don't have diplomas. And what really was staggering to me was 63% of youth suicides are from fatherless homes, 5 times the average. 90% of all homeless and runaway children from fatherless homes. We need to bring these parents and these dads and everybody in, and the demise of the neighborhood schools and loss of community affects parental involvement. This is a huge program. It will probably be the largest in the state and nothing like it, as I envision it to become. I went on, they had a speaker to come to their meeting, and this gentleman was David Lawrence's speech, given in May of 2013. If children were a real priority was what his speech was called. And as you read through the 2 pages of the speech, he comes down to a portion and he says, the most thought-provoking article I've read in recent times appeared in the New York Times. There, Sean Reardon, a professor of education and sociology at Stanford, wrote, there is a lot of discussion these days about investing in teachers and improving teacher quality. But improving the quality of our parenting and of our children's earliest environments may be even more important. Fundamentally, it means rethinking our still persistent notion that education problems should be solved by schools alone. So I don't believe, that's where we disagree, Ms. McCall, that the principals can take care of this, because this is a huge study that shows schools cannot take care of this alone. And I'll close with a statement right out of the public policy paper put together by the team that I've shared with you. And it's a statement from Anne Frank. Among the most poignant figures in history, wrote this in the years of the Holocaust. How wonderful it is that nobody needs to wait a single moment before starting to improve the world. I say let's vote on this tonight and move forward with it.
Mr. James?
Okay, now, we have heard a lot of emotional things, but I'm gonna go right back to where I was in terms of this. I asked you to, ask the board to table this until we have a chance to discuss it, whether we get a work session, get a retreat tomorrow, because you and I know that we need a retreat and a work session so we can sit and go over this thing. If you look at our district strategic plan now, it clearly states it's out of sync. And for us to take a minute and some time to really go over this. Now, we can schedule a work session anytime, but this is not going to change, when I say work session, a retreat. So we can clearly understand the direction that we are going. And if you say that all of this if we pass this tonight, it's going to take care of all of this tomorrow, it's not. But I am telling you this, the strategic plan is and I read Dr. Mayer's thing, her thing where it's under review at this time of being updated. Guys, all I'm telling you is simply this. When I look at what we're talking about in terms of this, we look at our staffing plan, and we look at the number of directors that we have listed under Dr. Grantham. All of those people have various degrees, and most of them have ed leadership degrees. All I'm saying, as a board, we need to take our time and go to a board retreat and look at this thing and see how it will affect the various programs that we have. We have been, when I look at this, I've looked at the fact that we have been doing a lot of these things for a long time. A couple of more weeks ain't gonna kill it. But I do know that we do have problems in the sense that it will cross over into various groups, and you will say, well, it's not gonna cause a problem. It will cause a problem. I also read on there where you wanted to eliminate rumors. The rumor is that this is a job being made for Suzanne McGuire. Now, if we want to put the rumors out there, let's put it out there, because it's out there.
I'm
And-
gonna say something. It's important that we remember that when the school board we are not in head of
I am-
hiring and firing unless it's for good cause. So the rumors we're gonna squash right now, so let's
That's
not
good with
put
the
nothing
rumors.
out. We're talking about the position. That's the only thing
Okay,
that
I
this
will,
board is.
I will move on from that.
Thank you.
Okay, now the issue that I have with this, whether it's her or anybody else, is not fair. Because I am convinced that if we was do it the right way, by sitting here and going over it as a board and making sure our vision is shared between all of us, a couple more weeks ain't gonna make a difference. So we can go ahead and look at how it will affect the various departments and make sure everybody get a fair deal. Now, if we don't do this, if we don't do it as a board, all we are doing is rearranging furniture on the Titanic.
Okay. Ms. Boynton, did you have anything to add?
Well, we're really talking just, we're not, this is for a,
This is let me just share this with you. You got a community and development engagement person from Hillsborough County. And this is very thorough. It's specific in terms of what an engagement person actually do. And I gave that to you tonight for us to say, hey, let's go to administrative retreat and not only look at what we are asking for a director in charge of this, but to be specific, how it will affect what we are doing. And let's look at what we can look at in terms of what are the rest of the things that will be coming from Dr. Mayer that will be asking us to vote on. And I'm gonna tell you, this is not an emergency.
I understand. Ms. Boynton, did you want to share anything, or are you good?
I sometimes when I don't want to say anything, but that will make you think against you. But I remember in 2014, as I was a chair, and I put this up and I asked Mr. Nancy to be over this, to lead this. And after I was not the chair, you became the chair. And you stood there and you made sure that Nancy Stacy could not really do, because everything there was so much that put together, Mr. James. It was, it maybe because two years ago that they put this together, and they had, maybe it doesn't look like it has in this school, but they came together. They even had, I think Mr. Stacy went to Orange County.
Went everywhere.
We went everywhere, and we talked. And some of these people, same people, these things would have talked to. And I like, sometimes, and maybe our county doesn't have the money, either the funds for this, maybe we don't. But I think what they put together, what they did, as I listened to them, And that because of the chair, we could not run in and talk to Mr. Stacy this. But I saw she went different to people, people who understand, not just understand what the parents, but they also knew what they had to come together and make sure that this job description was something that we would need. And this is what we're about. We're voting that we do have this job description, excuse me. But we're getting, this is what's for. And I think I looked at all the people that came to it to work on this and work with Mr. Stacy and even work with Dr. McMayer, came in and worked this so that this would be something. I think they have the thoughts to what a job description really is. I really do.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ms. McCall, did you have anything else to
I
add?
do. I just, in looking at this, there are no fundraising responsibilities in this one. I'm saying I don't like the fundraising aspect of this. I don't think it fits with this position. And I don't think it ought to be at this salary level. I still think that if the leadership at the schools are doing what they need to do, I know Stanton Weirsdale is doing a great job with their family nights, and they are increasing their attendance. And this may be a position that came out of the Public Policy Institute. I happened to attend that breakfast where Mr. Lawrence was speaking. I don't disagree that the family element is a huge part of the problem. I'm just saying, I have a problem with the job description and the salary that it's at. I would like a little more information on detailed information, and I think we need to really wait until the staffing plan and add it in that.
Okay. Do we gonna, yeah.
I'll just say that many times, Mr. James, over the last 4 years, when I talked about something from another district, you quickly told me, this is Marion County, you don't care about them. So I'm telling you right now, Hillsborough is a totally different socioeconomic area. They don't even have the same issues that we have here. It's completely different. And as far as people not having education leadership, Mr. James, Bill Gates and Steve Jobs didn't even have an AA degree. And they ran the largest computer businesses in the world. Barely got out of high school, one of them, got kicked out several times. So, and therefore, education leadership degree has absolutely nothing to do with this. I don't even know where that came from. But it's time to move. It's time to not waste another single moment before improving the situation for the parents and children in Marion County, and I'd like us to call the question.
Okay.
Well,
Do I have a second?
wait a minute.
Okay.
Didn't I ask,
Excuse me. It was called to question, and it's been seconded.
but I had,
No, sorry.
Mr. Lake, didn't I,
Question's been called.
And I've got a
but didn't I
second.
ask didn't I put a motion to table this?
But no, you didn't get a second.
Didn't.
Well,
So
was it called for a second?
we're gonna move along.
Second. I didn't hear that you had asked to table.
That was the first thing I said.
Well, he did, but we have a consensus, I believe, and as a chair, I believe that it's important that we do not get in the way of this new superintendent, who I clearly remember her standing before us about a year ago, when this initiative was all taking place. And Mr. James, you did already say that it is a position that we do need, or at one point earlier this evening, you said that. Ms. Boynton, you hit the nail on the head when you said that families are valuable. Families are the most important resource to our students. And I am in full support of voting for this tonight, and I think it's time for us to move on. So, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. And those that are opposed, like sign. And the motion passed.